Okay, I see us up there.
Perfect.
Great. Okay, so we'll start. Welcome to the Erotic Show on Stimulus TV. Thank you, Stimulus, the whole Stimulus TV team. Thank you for putting this on every week. Joining me tonight is Armando Cabba. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, you're saying it perfectly right.
You're a Paris-based erotic artist. So he had to wake up. He put his alarm. It's what, 3, almost 4 a.m.
It's almost 4 a.m., but I mean, what's time anyways? It doesn't matter.
So thank you for doing that. Thank you for staying up. And let's have some fun.
Let's do it.
So, if you don't mind introducing yourself so the world can know.
Sure. Well, like you said, my name is Armando Cabba. I'm a painter based in Paris. I'm originally from Montreal.
Okay.
Did all my education there. I originally started with portrait painting, and honestly, I never thought I would become more of an erotic artist. That kind of happened in the last 2 years while I was here in Paris.
Nice.
And before that, basically my timeline was I was in Montreal, then I went to Florence, Italy for 3 years, and
Beautiful.
then I decided to move to Paris.
That's so cool.
It's been a trip. It's been a trip.
Yeah, you're literally doing everything everybody wants to do, those type of moves. So that's
Yeah.
cool. So as an artist, what's your main medium?
I would say it's oil painting. I mean, that way you can get all the detail. I mean, I used to do acrylics, but like it's not the same. It's not the same.
So oil is where you get all those details. That's what I would
Yeah.
comment on. Your work is so detailed and I love it.
Thank
Um,
you.
your portraits too. I know that's not, erotic artwork is not the only thing you do. You do portraits. They're so
Mhm.
beautiful.
Well, thanks. It's just I guess getting all that detail. It's just a lot of hours. There's honestly a lot of hours go into it. Like even for like a butt painting is going to take me a good like 15 hours straight with like a single hairbrush trying to get every fiber. I mean, there's a moment where like I forget what I'm looking at.
Right, because you're
Yeah,
in the details. I love that. And
yeah.
it's like a butt, but it has so many details.
Oh
Um,
yeah. And there's no like Bob Ross like tutorial where it teaches you like this is how you paint a labia. Like, hey, today we're going to paint happy little sperm. Like that, you kind of have to figure it out as you go.
right. They're definitely not showing you that in school.
Oh no.
Do you ever want to get into other mediums?
I've tested with other ones. I mean, like that was part of like my education. Like we did like a lot of, I mean, not just painting, but like drawing, printmaking, sculpture, even digital art. But painting's always been the one that stuck with me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've just been continuously working on it. I mean, it feels basically it's a part of me at
I,
this point.
someone said, would you paint with lube?
Oh, I feel that would be so messy because already like if you take a fresh tube of oil paint and like squeeze it out, there is like this kind of like pre-paint cum that comes out, so that it's already lubed up.
I love it. Pre-paint come for the win. Um, and so I came across your work on Instagram. That's kind of my thing. So erotic, started off as me just writing erotica. Then
Hmm.
it became the podcast, and then I was always obsessed with erotic art. And I used to hire this girl to draw everything that I would write about. Every piece I had a specific drawing, but she quit on me. I think she was tired of drawing a bunch of ass and labias and everything. So it's all good. And then I just started the podcast, but I've always been obsessed with erotic art. That's mainly on Instagram, on my Instagram. So
Okay.
I was so mesmerized when I saw yours because I was like, when you first saw it, I really thought it was just a almost blurred photo of
Mm.
someone's asshole. That's the first one I saw was the asshole one. And I was like, no, there's like speckles on there, like paint
Yeah,
speckles.
there's a lot of texture. There's a lot of little paint marks. Yeah, the longer you look at it, the more you start realizing like this is a painting, and that's kind of like my goal as I'm making these little works. It's not to be photorealistic or try to make it, as close to being the real thing. It's really trying to keep that reality, but also adding my own thing to it.
Right. When you actually realized the painting, I was like, no way. And I just followed you right away. I was like, this is how did you get into it? How did you said it's when you moved to Paris you started getting into more of the erotic art.
While I was in Paris, and it really happened with the Tumblr ban that I think that happened in 2017, was just killed the fucking platform. I
Oh,
mean, as someone who uses Tumblr daily,
yeah,
when that came out and then reading the guidelines that like, you know, we won't have females presenting nipples, which was the actual quote,
right.
I realizing that this is, you know, Tumblr's been like a safe space for everyone to, you know, express themselves sexually, for sex workers. I mean, even other erotic artists who've built their career on this platform just got it wiped like a Thanos snap
Uh,
from Verizon who bought Tumblr. So I kind of decided like, fuck it, why not? Why not try it?
yeah.
And to test censorship, I mean, that's why I put these Renaissance titles because I really want to push it to see one, like, it is funny to poke fun at art historians. Like, I do want someone to Google a Michelangelo painting and find the butthole painting. I think that'd be hilarious.
I think so too. I actually want to talk about that because a lot of people who maybe don't follow you don't know that, but you do title every piece a religious title,
Mm.
and I think that's genius. It's ironic, it's hilarious, and that's a good way to cover from Instagram for sure.
It covers it's like I try like usually my process is like I'll make the painting and then when before I go on Instagram I'll have a dummy account and I'll just post it to see like first if it's going to get flagged, if it's going to get taken down, and then I'll use a religious title along with like biblical hashtags. Like I'm all of a sudden doing like hashtag Jesus, like hashtag church, like hashtag Sunday sermon,
I love
and it passes,
it.
it flies.
Yeah,
And yeah, it really opens up a discussion about what we have as censorship on Instagram and like what's allowed, what's not allowed, and like there's privilege. It's obvious there is privilege going on.
100%. I saw, I think, one of your latest interviews that you said, like, even the religion has sexual connotations in
Oh
there.
my God, it's unreal. It's just you know everyone can imagine back in the day being at church like there's no internet, there was no anything like
Right.
you're looking at these images. So like yeah, I mean even the artist making them is like yeah, I'm feeling it. You know, people are coming into church like I don't want to be here. I want to just be with my wife or whoever. Just ah. So yeah, it's always going to be sexual.
Yep. And they get away with it because it's like, well, it's a church, it's for the church.
It's
So,
for the church. It's masterful. It's now an art history book. So yeah.
so when you get these, I don't know how you find these ideas. Do you have a muse? Is it personal life? Where's the inspiration coming from?
Honestly, it comes really directly from porn. Like right now, it started with finding because I'm really picky when it comes to images. Like
Yeah.
I love the high def, like
Right.
I like NASA style loaded detail images.
Yeah.
So it started there, and it was just very easy to find images online. And now the series has been switching into where people now are offering to be like, hey, like I'd love to pose for you. Can I send you a pic? What are you looking for? Does this interest you? So now it's moving into the space of interacting more with the public as opposed to just picking away from the porn industry.
Right. I like that. So porn, you can find the best, obviously high def. I assume you have a lot of storage on your laptop.
Oh, my search history is a mess. Like I cannot hand my phone to anyone I know. Like if you just open any album, any window, it's yeah, forget it.
I, I'm not even painting, and my search engine is probably the same way. Uh,
I mean, I think it would be weird with people who don't have anything in their search engine. Like that freaks me
yeah,
out.
right.
Like there has to be something.
Either you are just deleting, like, the cleanest person ever, or you really, something's wrong, for real. I
Yeah,
agree.
just like yeah, you probably working for the government and this is a fake guy. Like you have a fake persona on and you're infiltrating someone. Like you're basically Jason Bourne if you don't have
Right.
any
Yeah.
porn on your phone or laptop or anything.
Well, would you accept like a request or a live model or anything like that?
Definitely. I mean, even one of my last ones, I painted a vagina with a piercing, and that came from someone online who reached out to me. So it was my first time doing it, and it adds, I feel, in terms of like working directly from porn and now working with someone else. There is an excitement. There is a bit of more of a rush of
Right.
like, oh wow, like this person's more. It's tangible. Like this, there's a communication. It's not just like, oh, I found a video, took a screenshot, here
Yeah.
we go.
Yeah. And it's like there's a connection.
Oh yeah. Oh
Spoken
yeah.
to the person, and now get to paint your vagina.
Yeah, and also I think they got really excited at the fact that like I spent 15 hours of my life staring at their bits, like
Right.
really just with a brush, just like every day, just
Oh my
yeah.
God. Okay, I'm tempted. Look, we have a model volunteer in the chat room too.
Oh, nice.
I think that's super cool. And would you consider yourself a voyeur though, or
I don't know because like I feel, especially even being in Europe, especially Paris, like when you say voyeur, like we all see into each other's apartments first of all, like every living situation, like, and there's no moment of like shame, there's no modesty. Like if someone's walking around with like no pants on, there's
yeah,
no like, oh, you caught me. It's just like I'm gonna continue.
right,
I mean, I during the quarantine, I've been watching my neighbor's Disney Plus. Like I've caught up with The Mandalorian just by looking out the window
right.
and you do see people, yeah, they're in the process of making love, and you see it, and it becomes very normal. It's like you see, you're excited, and you're like, oh, nice, like they're getting it on, but like it's not this thing where you're gonna sit there for like an hour. It's more, it's become so normalized.
I feel you. It's not too crazy. And I think when it comes to your painting, you're like, okay, I want to make this so perfect. You kind
Mm.
of like you're not doing it for sexual gratification.
I think I'm doing it more for, one of my objectives is I really want the viewer to project their sexual history and their interests on it.
Yeah,
So that's why I really don't try to include like full bodies and
right.
faces and something very notable.
Yeah,
Like I want everyone to have their own interaction and story with it. So if you get excited, awesome. Like, if you have to like take a screenshot and log off for a bit and take time for yourself and, rub one out, go
yeah,
for it.
do
Yeah.
it. But you never like had someone sit in front of you.
I've never had that yet, and I would always feel bad because I don't know. I'm always like I'm very much a giver. Like if someone's gonna sit in front of me for 3 hours with their legs open, I'm gonna feel really bad for them. I'm like, are you cold? Do you need a heater? Can I get
Yeah,
you tea?
right.
Do you need to take a smoke break? Like what? So
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you said 15 hours. I'm sure they'll be like, we have to split this up into a couple.
yeah, yeah, you do.
Um, so how do you manage your erotic work on social? Like, are you only on Instagram? Are you on Twitter?
No, like you can find it. I mean, like I don't use it much, but I still post on my Facebook page, and it
Okay.
still flies.
Yeah.
I have my website. I mean, Twitter lets anything happen, so there's no issue.
Yeah.
I'm on an artist platform called Elo, so I haven't had issues with them either. I've tried Tumblr, and Tumblr is still like beyond strict, like more strict than Instagram. I've tried to let it fly there, but it won't go.
Super annoying. But I also think that the audience that that you and I know about on Tumblr is just not there anymore. We're all just
Yeah, it's
like,
changed. It's
totally my,
completely different now.
yeah. I was like, I don't even need to be on here anymore. So how does your family know about all the erotic stuff?
Yeah, they kind of found it by accident, which was like really funny. It's kind of like, your parents finding like your first like porno mag like hidden under your bed.
Yeah.
My dad sent me a message because one of his coworkers sent one of my articles to him. And
Yeah.
my dad didn't realize it was me. He had no idea I was doing this. So he opened the article, and he was like, why are you sending me porn in the middle of the day? And he goes, no, 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 it's art. Like, okay, whatever floats your boat. It's like, no, your son did. He's like, what? And then he saw the name. He was like, and then gave me a call, being like, so when were you gonna tell me about the dick paintings? Like, what's going on? Like, I'm super proud of you, but like, what's
Right.
going on?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Was that when some of the fame came? Was the erotic stuff, or was it since your portrait
The
days?
portraits took off. I feel the erotic stuff hit more like a mass public. I
Oh,
feel compared to the portraits, it was more like the artsy crowd and people who really knew a bit more about the craft and so on. Whereas the erotic one, that just like it took off, and especially when I was put on What's Hot, like it just
yeah,
blew up. It
yeah,
just like so.
yeah. I was happy to see that, and I think they just reposted you again, right?
They did, and then actually Instagram took it down off of their
Oh
site.
God, I should
It's
probably.
it's insane because I wrote to them and I was all concerned, being like, "Oh, did like someone report you, or like did you? I don't know, like were you just like not feeling it for your whole collection?" And they said, "No, no, no. Like Instagram took it down for nudity." And I find it quite insane because I'm getting away with it, and yet a bigger profile than me can't.
Yeah,
And yeah,
I think you're doing it right though, with the kind of you're flying under the radar with the hashtags.
Mm,
So I think I need to try that. I need to like steal
yeah,
some.
play around with it. I mean, even people listening to this, like if you want to just give it a shot, like you don't have that much to lose. Like you'll be surprised what you can get away with.
I'm sure. My last page, my original erotic page, got deleted a year ago, 2 years ago, almost a year ago. I was so sad. It felt like
Oh man.
my baby, and deleted it. I'm like, I didn't even want to start again. But then, like, last year, the end of the year, I was like, no, I need to start again. I'm not gonna let Instagram like.
Yeah, fuck them. Like, fuck, you have to keep going. You just gotta keep hammering away at it.
And I've tried everything. I've tried being private. I've tried, I don't know, I've tried so many different things and I don't know. But I think someone told me last week we had a Dom on here and she said
Mm-hmm.
her putting it as her as a male instead of
Mm-hmm.
a female worked. She hasn't been
That's
torn.
really interesting, though. Like, and it just pushes the point about privilege existing on social media. It's insane.
Exactly. She hasn't been flagged. And like you said, she's crafty with the hashtags and stuff like
Mm.
that. I'm like, it's crazy, but it's the life we live. Um,
Yeah. I mean, even looking at like if you try to read like Instagram's guidelines, it's very vague and no one can really put a pin on it to be what exactly flies and what doesn't fly. Like they're constantly moving around.
yeah. Because I know they say you can't have like assholes or a crack in there, but you can't have nipples, but they can be an illustrated one.
Mm,
Like almost everything I put is illustrated or painted. So how are you flagging these things?
yeah. Then you start getting paranoid. Like I started thinking like I had someone who just hated my work who just constantly reported it. Like it really fucks with you a bit.
It does. You know what? I'm even like kind of freaked out. Anybody who follows me that doesn't have any post or like minimal
Oh
followers,
my God, yeah.
I just block them.
You're right. I mean, I have some that follow me now that like it's clear that it's a burner account because they start writing messages being like, "Oh, like your work turns me on so much." It's like, okay, that's great, but like
Right.
it's being very sleazy that you're hiding behind like a dummy account to just write whatever.
Well, how has quarantine been for you and your sex life?
Oh my God. Well, Pornhub Premium was free
Yeah,
for a
it was
month.
free.
It was free, and I took it as like a duty, as a service to try and finish Pornhub, like it was a Netflix series. I was just going on every random page, just trying to see like what's going on page 647. What are they doing? What's the new thing? So a lot of that, which yeah, it really did push me to do more erotic work because not having physical contact. So I started painting things that you long for, and I think during quarantine, a lot more people latched onto that, being like, yeah, we're all horny, we're all hot and bothered.
Yeah.
We miss having someone with us. Like, this is the shit.
Yep,
So,
I agree. So it's turned up for you. It's good. Well, at least in the
yeah.
art world. Do you want to show us some of your work?
Yeah, I got some here. Like, I got one of the butt plug one, if
Oh
you
my
can
God,
see
that's
it.
one of my faves.
Like, with the computer screen, you can't see much of the detail, but they're quite small. And I want to keep them small because like I don't know if you've seen other art, like maybe photos of it where it's like a giant painting of a vagina in an art gallery, where it's got like this shock value to it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And and we learned in art school, like depending on the size of the work, it really gauges how many viewers can see it and their interaction. So I made mine small because I mean, it's intimacy, and I also want like 1 to 2 people at a time looking at my work in person.
Yeah, yeah, I
As
like that.
opposed to, I'm not trying to shock you. I'm trying to say like, hey, sexuality is there. It exists. We all have it.
Normalize it.
Yep.
And I think even having the fact that it's smaller with all those details, you can appreciate it even more.
Yeah.
That's one of my faves. I just posted that one, and I'm like, this
It's
is so.
funny. I tried reposting it and
Yeah.
then I got flagged. I got flagged for trying to repost my own work, which has happened more than once, which is wild now. I feel like I'm
Really?
in some sort of bizarre legal trial with Instagram where they're trying to find loopholes on me. It's like, we won't report your work, but if you try copying it from someone else, like, we got you.
That's so weird. And they didn't flag my actual thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I also did just because I posted yours, I went and please don't show images on stream. Oh.
Ah,
All right. So we can't really show those. Anyway,
okay.
good to know. But it sucks because what was I going to say? I went and put my thing as you have to be 18 to view my page. I don't know if that has something to do with it. So we can explore that later. Anyway.
I think, well, there is that. I don't know if you've seen them on posts where they have had like that kind of like this image contains like sensitive material.
Yeah.
Click here if you want to see.
True.
I don't know how to get that option because I would be okay with it, like to post a painting and have that little barrier so someone has to double click. But
Let's look for that after this. I'll
yeah,
look and let you know what I find.
thank you.
Um, all right. So are those pieces for sale?
Yeah, they're for sale. I've had a few of them have actually been sold. I've had them even before quarantine. I've had collectors who've been interested in them, and it's always funny, and it's funny. It's also heartwarming, and it's exciting when someone's interested in this because you kind of really get a glimpse of their sex life and their love life.
Yeah.
Like especially like it's a lot of couples who buy
Oh,
these
nice.
pieces. And I went over to one of my collector's house to deliver it, and I kind of saw like after a few glasses of wine, gave them the piece. I saw them; they were like getting kind of like, "Ooh, yeah, like this is gonna go in the bedroom. Like we really like this. Like, all right, that's my cue to head out. Like I'm happy, you're
Right.
happy.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Like I'll see you guys like next week."
Yeah, for sure. Um, so what is your erotic personality? Like what kinks are you into? Since we're talking about erotica, let's talk
Of
about
course, we have to talk about it. We're not just gonna skip over it and be like, "Bye, see
it.
ya. That's enough for me." Yeah. It's funny because I guess it started developing slowly. Like I never like when I first became sexually active with my first girlfriend, first time, we both, had our sexual debuts together. I don't like saying virginity. I
Yeah, thank you.
fuck that noise.
I know.
So there wasn't really much. It was very like, you're fresh. You're kind of like, whoa, what's this and that. But over time, it slowly started developing more and more. Like I used to talk so much shit about the daddy kink all
Uh,
the time. I'd be like, "What the fuck? Like, why is that hot? Who would enjoy that?" Then finally, I was with someone, and she said it in bed. I was like, "Oh my god, this is great!"
right.
Like, I was like, "Oh, can you repeat that?" Like, yes,
Yeah,
yes, I am. Like, you are welcome. Like, yeah,
nice. That's one of my faves also. I call my man daddy, so I'm with it. I did a whole podcast on it because I know a lot of people think it has to do with daddy issues or it has like
mm,
I'm like, if you do your research, it doesn't have anything to do with it. It's really someone who is just holding it down and doing the damn.
yeah.
Really,
Like, who knows what's going on? Knows it's such like the biggest compliment. It's just like even thinking about it's like, yeah, like.
it's really a title that's deserved. You never
Mm,
can't, yeah, you can't just call anybody that. And I
no, and
heard someone once, and they asked me to call him that, and I was like, no.
you can't. Yeah, you can even see people like on the street, and you can even look at them like that person gives off a daddy vibe. Like
Yeah,
that one, no. Like this one knows, like definitely like hits it from the back like a animal. Like yes, like yeah.
exactly. I know it's like daddy energy. I love that.
Oh yeah, it's so good. But yeah, so that one, became my main kink. And then I guess even my evolution of like what I would watch porn wise
Yeah.
started to change. Like before, it's just the whatever, like the generic reality kings, whatever is the main one at the moment. And now I feel I've shifted to a lot more amateur, a lot more moments of like real shit. Like I like seeing not like that up close shot. Even though I paint that, I like seeing stuff that's more like, oh, like there's a bit of a giggle or like maybe someone slipped.
Right.
And it's even like set in like an actual bedroom and not just some empty millionaire's mansion in LA. Like I can't project myself on. I start asking too many questions of like who decorated the house? Are they going to dry clean that rug when they're done? Like does that not hurt her knees like with the texture of the couch? Like yeah.
Same. I'm the same way because I like amateur. I like a little like shaky camera, not the best quality,
Mm.
but the like the passion or the energy's there.
It's the energy, and these two people, even if they are performers, there's a chemistry. Like they're really, it's a lot more honest and more believable, and like you can project onto it, and it makes it even more exciting.
Yeah. How do you feel about paying for porn?
Paying for porn, I mean, I do have subscriptions on OnlyFans. I don't have an issue with it. I know a lot of other guys can complain about being like, oh, it should be free. Oh, it's like, no, this person's getting their money. Men have created this system where, good looks become currency, and now they're cashing in on it. So good for them. Like,
Yeah, I agree. I think we should pay. I'm down for the free, of course. Like, because
mm,
like a clip here and there, like why not?
mm,
But I don't think people should be upset to pay for it. I think
no,
putting quality, like I need to go. I said this on my one of my last episodes. I need to pay for this one woman, Erica Luss, who's
mm.
doing cool stuff. But I'm also just like, how often do I watch? Do I need to pay? Do I just
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like, how many times am I going to visit this? Like, you start kind of like budgeting it out in your mind, like having like, you have your actual bank, then you have your jerk off bank, and you're trying to see if it kind of correlates, being like, should I do it? Like, I want to support this person, but I also want to like know that like I'm really profiting from all of the things they're creating.
yeah. You just brought up OnlyFans. I literally just signed up. Like I'm a fresh newbie. Really, because there's this guy that started Demon Time. I don't know if you heard about it.
I haven't heard of this.
Oh my God. So Demon Time, it was this guy named Justin. He started it and it was basically using Instagram Live and getting strippers or, not professional or not professional, like amateur strippers, go on the live with him and just start stripping, like shaking their ass. Some people would get naked completely and a lot of people wouldn't. They would just be shaking it, shaking it, shaking it.
Mm,
And people would donate, like they would put their Cash App in the live comments and
okay,
people
and people were just flooding the cash app.
so much so that like celebrities started coming on, athletes were coming on.
Wow.
He was doing this like 3 times a week around like starting at like midnight. I started going on and I'm like, the girls were good. He was hilarious. His commentary was hilarious. You could see these celebrities, like Shaq was in there once. It was like, oh, he was like, what's up? Yes, next girl, not her. Like he was, and YG the rapper was in there. I don't know, just so many people. So it blew up to this thing where now Instagram took him off and
Classic, yeah.
took him off, and he started making another one. Would make another one. Would make another. Now he can't even make an Instagram at all. And so just a couple days ago, OnlyFans and Demon Time have a partnership.
Oh, fuck, nice.
Yeah, it starts tonight at midnight. But I'm sure I don't know if you want to go to sleep.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Maybe my roommates will wake up to me streaming Demon Time on OnlyFans at 6 in the morning. Like, gotta watch it. Come on,
Sab said it. I'll send you the link anyway, but
please
I'm
do.
like
Yeah.
so ready. I'm ready. It's a free subscription, and then I think whatever the way you can pay each dancer, I have to see how they do it.
Okay.
So ready. I'm so
Cool.
excited. That's what I'm looking forward to tonight.
I mean, I even who did I see that recently went on OnlyFans? I think Black China now has an OnlyFans
Yeah.
account.
I don't know. How do you feel about the celebrities going on? I don't even care.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, and also like I don't know. I just don't believe the content's going to be good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's because you associate them with what they're primarily known for, and now it's kind of like, oh, I'm going to dip my toe into sex work because it's kind of trendy.
Right. And I mean,
That brings up, it's like this weird role play, and once again, every time we come back to it in this conversation, it is a form of privilege. Like, oh, I just want to be a sex worker for a month, cash in, bounce. Where it's like, no, people who do sex work full time, there's a lot of shit that goes with it. It's not easy. It's tons of fucking work. Like, it's not just because one day you got bored and voila, you decided to make an OnlyFans.
exactly. And because Beyonce mentioned it in her damn song,
Oh,
like,
God.
which sucks because you're right. There's a lot of women that's a primary, form of income, and
Mm.
now coming on here, and a bunch of people are going to go over to see what you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
So,
100%.
I'm like, you're not going to actually get completely nude. So what are you doing? Or maybe they do. I don't know what she's going to do, but I'm not interested.
Yeah, and I think it's also like $50 a month too. It's not like it's like quite like
Um,
yeah.
Is that normal? Because, okay, so I have this one stripper not one, I have many strippers that I've fallen in love with, of course. And then, but there's this one, I was like, oh, she's dope. And I was like, are you ever going to make one because of this quarantine? And she's like, yeah, we plan on it. And she did. She posted one video, but her subscription was $50 a month. And I was like, looking at other women, they're like 10 or 20, right? Or I don't
And
even.
they have a lot more content. Yeah, I don't know how pricing works. Like because there's some too where like there's sales during the quarantine where it's like, hey, subscribe for like $7 a month, like great, and you can see there's like 30 videos, like 50 photos, like all right, not bad at
Okay.
all. But then yeah, there's some that I've seen too with people where it's like 35 a month and there's only 2 videos. Like okay, are
Yeah.
these? I like you can't even preview the videos a bit just to kind of have an idea, kind of like many vids. So you just kind of have to it's a bit of a gamble. Like you just got
Right.
to roll the dice.
Right. Well, I'm learning. I'll see how Demon Time goes tonight and see if I find anybody. Oh yeah. So I wanted to ask you if you ever been in a dom or sub,
Mm.
because that's what we talked. We spoke to a pro dom last week.
I saw bits of the clip that you guys had that chat about. Yeah, um, full on. Like I've never done the full thing of like all the leather, like a gimp suit, like really being like you sit here, like you're this and that. Like I don't know. Like I respect if that's your thing,
Yeah.
great. Like, but for me, I don't know. I feel that one's a bit. I would find it more funny than sexual.
Yeah.
But I do, in terms of dom sub, like yeah, like rough sex is great.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things I've done with one of my exes was, one of those like Bluetooth vibrators,
Yes.
and saying like, "You're gonna wear this tonight. I have the controller.
Right.
I'm running shit. Like we're here for 3 hours. Like I'm not gonna look at you. I'm not gonna tell you when.
Yeah.
It's on,
I
and
love
you're just gonna have to accept that you can't take it out."
it. How fun was that?
A lot of fun. But then it got kind of awkward because there was a moment where like there was that like awkward silence in the party, but then you kind of heard like the buzz, like that thing. And I was kind of looking around the room like, oh, and then I had like, oh, what is that? What is that noise?
Weird.
It's like, why is she smiling so much? That's odd. What is that?
I love it. Um, okay. So, any other erotic things you want to talk about?
Hmm. I'm not really sure. Well, one thing that I did notice, and maybe you have the answer to this. When did the whole stepbrother, step sibling, stepmom shit become like the thing?
You're right. I don't have a proper answer for you, but I just had this conversation with one of my best friends. She's like, yo, I'm back on porn because some people have porn diets. I've been on that.
Yeah.
She's like, where did all this step stuff happen? I was like, yo, I don't know. But looking at I just reviewed Pornhub's numbers, I think from last year, and that's a top search. Is like
Yeah, it's always on the front page. There's always like one or two videos.
I don't have the answer for you, but I know that it's trending, and that's why they keep making more. So if more people
It's
want it,
nonstop. Yeah, and they're getting bigger porn stars to do it too. Like at first, I remember it was just kind of like, okay, this is just something that's very niche,
yeah,
whatever. But then now it's like it literally is everywhere. That even like amateurs are doing like it's becoming it's the thing.
this I don't know. I just even if I see it, I'm like I know they're not actually related, so I'm like whatever.
Yeah,
But why is that title so interesting
yeah.
to people? I'm sorry, I don't have an answer. Someone just asked if you could pick any medium without any restriction, what would you build or make into art?
Any medium without restriction. Huh. It's a really good question because like already art you can do whatever you want.
I know.
And like I primarily think like 2D.
Oh,
So huh. I really don't know. I honestly, I even tried mixing random things together. Like I've worked with, classic art school thing where everyone like you could do like you could paint with your blood if you want, and there are some people who bring like their used tampons and they start making a portrait with it and this and that. So I don't know because I'm really happy with what I'm doing, but I guess I would want to make a giant sculpture out of dildos. I think that would be it. If I had an infinite budget, I'd buy all the sex toys and I would make some wild sculpture. I don't know what, but it'd
right.
have to be big.
Yes, I would love that.
Yeah.
Let's make that happen somehow.
I think it'd be good. I mean, like Jeff Koons gets away with a lot of crap. I think I can do it.
Yeah. I'm not worried of getting away with it. I know you could, but I want to like, where can you actually do this? You need the space and all the dildos.
Need the space, need to get sponsored. Shout out to Adam and Eve. Hope you sponsor me. That'd be great. I can get a promo code and then use all their tools. It'd be wonderful.
Let's do
Uh,
it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's just when you ask a question like that, there's just like I guess my mind just kind of like just it's a void. There's just so much you can, yeah, there's just so much you can play with.
Someone said you should do it for Burning Man. It would be perfect. That's
Oh
true.
my God, Burning Man. I have such like a love-hate relationship with Burning Man. It's
Right.
just I don't know. I have you ever had interest in going? Is it your thing or no?
No, okay, so no, when I look at it from, face value, I was like, ah, not my thing. But when I heard about all the sex parties that go on in there, I was like,
Yeah,
maybe it can be my thing.
that's exciting. Yeah, the
Right.
parties seem cool, but then there's a moment where it's like I'm from the north. I don't like heat, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be sweaty. I'm gonna be sunburnt. I'm gonna have glitter on me. I'm probably not gonna be prepared, so I'm gonna have to like negotiate with some guy who has like 8 pairs of sunglasses on with like techno blasting, being like, all right, like I'll jerk you off for like a liter of water, like because
That's
we can't pay for things. So
terrible. Someone said it was all love and they changed their lives. I've heard everyone
yeah,
that
everyone has like a life changing experience.
yeah, everyone who's gone loved it. They rave about it. They're ready to go the next year. So it has to be something's good.
Yeah, I think it has to be done. I think at least once.
They said those parts are cool too, but there's literally anything you've ever wanted to do or meet. Can't even imagine. Okay.
I said we won't know until we try.
Right. I guess that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Um, okay. So any advice for other artists trying to get into the erotic art space?
I think the thing you got to do is when you're creating erotic art, I think try to look at it as how, because there's so much of it. There's so many artists who do erotic art, and there's some who have incredible techniques, and that personally I don't enjoy. Like I find mostly male erotic artists. I'm not too much of a fan because I find it's a bit rigid, and it's kind of lacking. There's I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it, but there's just something not there. Like it doesn't. It feels cold,
Yeah.
and it's a bit too much to the point. Just like fucking, like all right, we got it. Like thank
Right.
you.
Oh.
Whereas more like female artists, there's something a lot more sensual and a lot more personal in there. There's like a story, even if it's something that's a very vulgar image or very explicit. There is some narrative woven in there that you can sense,
Yeah.
which I always love.
Yeah.
But in terms of the new artists getting into the scene, I mean, I'm a rookie. I just started like 2 years ago doing this, so I don't consider myself the MVP. But I would say just make it personal to you. If there's some bit of your identity that can come out on it, it's really going to hit home with people.
Right.
Because you, regardless if you're going to try to make something that's just generic, something of you is going to spill out onto it, and you better own it and
Yeah.
better like, yeah.
Agree because especially having erotic, I now because I'm so obsessed with erotic art, I see so many artists, and I'll go onto the page. I might like one thing, and then I go and I see the rest. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm
Yeah,
feeling that. I don't know what it is, but I'm not feeling it.
yeah, there's just something. There's just I get it. Like with art, there's some like some paintings are bangers and some don't slap. Like that's fine. Like
For sure.
that's like there's ups and downs.
Yeah.
But it is really odd when you do see a collection only like one or two stand out and the rest are just like flatlining. It's just kind of like you even kind of ask like, is this even the same artist?
Right.
Because it's just so different. But yeah, no, the personal touch. It's all about putting that personal energy into it.
What do you think it is with with the lack of female erotic artists? I was just noting that today in a discussion I was having with my friend. I'm like, I see a few, but they're mainly men.
It's yeah, a good artist to like really get a history on, if any, for you and anyone who's listening, is Betty Tompkins.
Tompkins. Okay.
Am I saying her name right? Yeah, Betty Tompkins. She was like the OG of doing erotic art. Like she has been criticized. Like this is like back in the day. Like France, I think didn't even let in her work at one point. She's been recently banned from Instagram, but then re-brought in.
Yeah.
And like she's the pioneer, and she does a really great. There's a really great article about her in Playboy about like her whole like life trajectory. And I don't know. I don't know if it's just blatant sexism and just the male ego, and trying to push that aside to be like I'm the best. I'm the best. I know more because a paintbrush is like a dick, so I'm closer to it than you are. I don't know.
Right.
I
Well,
But
I hope, yeah, well, I hope we'll come around to it because I think you're right. There's a certain feminine touch that people,
oh
that
yeah.
be missing.
And
Um,
there are some like really good ones. I mean, I like it was really crazy. I think with what's hot, there are some which are like really great. And if you go on and just like go do a deep dive on the profile, and I was looking at that like some of them are even following me and following them, so I feel like I'm part of like this special club. Like, yeah, oh my god, like hey, you know you, like yeah, like so.
Good.
No, there's a lot of good ones out there. I think they just don't get enough justice because of the art world is still quite male dominated.
Yeah, which is fine as long as it's good. But I also think it is a fun community to be a part of. I'm
Oh
always about promoting. Like if I see a piece of art and it has no artist attached, I'm like, oh man, like I want to
yeah,
tag this
I
person.
drives me nuts, especially like that's also another thing what I hate about Tumblr is like I find so many cool things and then like even when you go through the reblogs and trying to find it, like, oh come on.
I know. But someone I'm usually like if they're out there, somebody will be like, hey, can you tag me? And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
But I think it's great. I think the whole erotic art scene is blowing up, I think, and
Mm.
getting a lot of love. Obviously not from Instagram, but it's getting a lot of love. I'm wondering why everyone doesn't just shift to Twitter.
I don't know. I think it's because Instagram, even its relationship to the art world, is such the powerhouse. Like you can't be an artist today without having an Instagram. It's pretty much impossible.
Right.
So having like, you give all that power to just one thing, Instagram, like there are going to be problems with it.
Major. And Twitter's really not for photos, It's so
No, and just sharing ideas and writing a random tweet or whatever. Like even I post my work on Twitter and like it doesn't get there's not that much engagement. It's Instagram is the place to be, and plus if you want to get in contact with certain art influencers or collectors and critics and such, like it's very easy to reach out to them or tag them and
um,
work your way through it.
so what's the future hold for you?
I have no idea. I can say that I'm still going to be painting naughty bits. That's going to still be happening.
Please.
Um, right now, my work is evolving a bit more because I think in an interview, I don't know if you read it, I was very hesitant in terms of representing people of color in my series because this started out as a form of activism.
Yeah.
Of like just okay, you're going to ban porn. I'm going to use it now to annoy you and the conservatives and
Yeah.
that. And I didn't want to, there's so many, how many times have we seen a white artist do something, even though they're trying to do something good and it just blows up in their face and it just does more damage than good.
Yeah.
Like Dana Schutz did that and it was just a mess with the Emmett Till portrait she made.
Yeah, it
And
did.
like, oh my God, like even looking, if like, even if you put the subject matter aside, the painting's just a bad painting and then all that.
Right.
So I was very hesitant at first to start doing that, and I was asking a lot of my friends because a part of me too, when I'm looking at all this porn, all this mainstream stuff, of perfectly shaved, like bleached vaginas, and everything's perfect, everything's in its spot. That there is a big part of me, I believe in diversity, and I'm also crying out for it because looking at all this, it gets so boring.
Yeah.
It's just like everything looks the same. It's all tight and compact. Like no labia. There's nothing sticking out. There's not even like one hint of stubble. There's and so now I'm leaning more. I'm finally starting to do it. Because I want to do it. I'm like I've had it now. The series is evolving to that point where like I need it. People will enjoy it. Like why am I holding myself back?
Yeah.
And it was also because like in mainstream porn, I also didn't like the narrative of like
Oh, yeah.
having it always for white consumption. Like I guess it would be blacked would be the main one,
Yeah.
where you take a black man and it's always in this narrative that it becomes just more of a fantasy, and we take this human, we make him an object, and like it just constantly just narrates it for white consumption that like these are no longer human beings anymore. It's just your plaything, it's your forbidden thing, and
Right.
unconsciously, I feel that puts that idea into a lot of people's heads, like, oh, if it's not for sex, then why do I need to interact?
Right. That's all you're here for. And even the titles of
Oh
how they
my god.
title that gone on like Pornhub strikes because I'm like, seriously, I put it on like Twitter, like this is what you titled this, but and I
It's
would
insane.
throw the two videos. I'm streaming, I'm scrolling. One, it's two white women and they're like lovely babes, you know, having sex. Two black women, black hoe bitches.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
and you're
even
like, excuse me.
it's really nuts. And even doing my research, I noticed a pattern. Like it's so easy for me to find any image I want if it's a white person, like any HD image. But when even today, like even doing some more research, if I'm looking for someone, a person of color, the quality is not there. Like you can tell that the industry is not investing
Yeah,
in this. Like they're so solely focused on, just mainstream. It's mostly white actors, and then even if there is someone who is black or any other race involved, there is a white person involved, and that's when you see the quality. That's the only time you really see it, and it's really you just keep picking up on this pattern. First, you want to say like, oh no, maybe it's just Google, maybe it's just I'm not typing in the right thing, and then you keep seeing it, and it fucking bums you out, and you're just like, fuck, man, like.
yeah. Well, being a woman of color, you are speaking up for me, really. So thank you. And I,
I'm just pointing it out.
yeah, I've had to struggle with erotic, where obviously I like to put up a lot of art. Then I was trying to find people of color in this art, and I'm like, why is this so hard to find?
Yeah,
Um, so I've almost made it a mission to find it. It's usually not. It's either digital art or like photographs. And again, sometimes the quality is lacking. And sometimes I find a page where beautiful photos of women and even the male body. And I'm like, yes, I found a good page. And I'm scrolling, and all you see are white bodies, white bodies, white bodies.
yeah.
Beautifully done. I love them. I still repost them and everything. But then I'm like, damn, not even a mix, like a couple.
Not even like a 10. It's yeah. And like I realized in like the way my series was evolving, I was like, I'm not helping right now. Like I'm making good work. I'm happy it's connected, but I'm like, I should be doing something more. Like I should have listened to my gut a bit sooner, I believe. But now, just getting to it one penny at a time, and yeah, uh,
But at the same time, I mean, it's like just like anybody. So you're going to be inspired by what you're around. So I get
mm,
it. You know, some people are just like, well, I wasn't around a black person to be painting their bits. You know, so
mm,
I get it. And again, you said you prefer finding a quality photo to repaint.
yeah.
Not
I mean,
finding.
even going into like Reddit forums and all that, if you go into like, there's a thread that's called Close Up. And if you just go into like the top posts of all time, it's all just white,
Yeah.
clean, pristine, just like these tight, compact vaginas. And you're just looking, you're like, are these even real? Like, who looks like this? Like,
Yeah.
who
Yeah. So
spends all this time?
want that's why it's at the top. You know, because
Yeah.
post all types of vaginas, but that's not the one that's getting the most likes.
Yeah. It's really, yeah. And it sucks. It just fucking sucks. Every time I think about it, I start getting frustrated, and I want to have a cigarette, and then I want to go on a rant on the internet about it, and then I want to like wake up my roommates and be like, "Let me tell you about what I'm finding online." Like,
People just need to change it. Like I know a black guy who does some art, but he's scared because took his page down once, and he's
yeah,
like, okay, I don't want my other page because he does, actual art that's not erotic as well. So he's like, I
mm,
don't even want to mess that up for me. So he just stopped completely. And then there's a photographer friend of mine that wants to get together, and he wants us to make like a little zine because he's like, I don't see black women with these kind of photos, these very, well done, artistic, but nude photos. So
mm.
it's just like someone just has to do it. So I'm like, yo, I keep complaining about it, so I just need to make the art. I just need to.
Yeah, it's kind of that. You're like you can sit there and really fuss and being like, "Oh, I'm not seeing this," and then being a creator like you and me, just be like, "Well, we just got to put it out there ourselves."
Yeah. So that's the plan.
Yeah, so that's the plan. So that's pretty much, I'm still going to be working on this series. I'm still going to be painting portraits.
Yeah, love it.
And just kind of seeing where things go. I mean, it's been really nice even just chatting to you about it rather than just kind of mumbling in my head alone, being like, am I going crazy? Is there something? Is it just my phone? Do I need to like go online and like clear my search? Like, what is happening?
Yeah, I feel you. No, it was really good chatting, and I think I mean, you're doing so amazing. I feel like everything's just going to keep going up from here.
Oh,
I
thank
think
you.
look into, or if you're interested in like paid partnerships and sponsorships, I feel like that can be next because there's so many brands out there that
Oh yeah, I had one. I had a watch brand approach me. I was like, "Are you sure?" Like I was like, "Is this what you really want to be associated with?" It's like, "Yeah, show that you're like using our watch while you're painting your stuff." I was like, "While I'm painting a dick, you want me to wear your watch and take a
And they
sponsored
were
post
fine
in?"
with
Like,
it. They were
sorry.
fine with it.
Yeah, I think they kind of went on my profile after, and they're like, "Oh." Because
Right.
they just saw like the followers and they're like, oh yeah, let's just shoot them a message. And then I wrote to them, I was like, are you sure? And they're like, ah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, no, there's definitely plenty of, brands within that
Yeah.
category. So I feel like that's gonna come soon.
Probably, yeah. I mean, you'll probably see the posts of me saying like, hey, use code like Cabba at checkout and get 50% off your next butt plug. Like, yeah, shop independent.
I will use it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again.
No problem at all.
It's a good conversation. Obviously, see you on Instagram. I was actually supposed to be in Paris in March for my birthday, and obviously, Corona happened. So
Oh. Is you
I
planning on coming anytime soon?
Yeah, I'll replan it and I'll let you know. We'll definitely have to get up.
Sounds good. And also, you can see my work in person. I'll show you all of it.
Yes, I would love that. Well, thanks again for staying up. I know it's late
No
over
problem at
there.
all. It
Um,
was a pleasure.
and have a good weekend.
Hey, you too.